Did he? Ugh. That probably wouldn't be a good idea. Okay. Been there a while. Still Regan, still buzzing. I tried to prep for it in practice the other day by piping in some white noise in the practice gym, but it does not even compare to the crowd Elvis Moy and his staff put in there for us. I mean, our girls were so excited to see that. When I was telling the numbers of kids that were coming, we had two cool moments. I told them there were 84 schools coming, and Danica said, "Is that all of the Midwest?" I said, "That is not. It's all of part of Northwest Arkansas and some surrounding areas." She goes, "We only have like 65 schools total." So to see that and then for them to show up, I thought it got us off to an amazing start. Got into a little foul trouble, but yeah, the crowd was amazing. The volunteers that come out to watch it. I stand up in my office and I watch it happen, and it is unbelievable to watch those buses come in and the volunteers take them in and take them out and organize them. You know, it makes for one of the funnest days of our year for us.
Yeah. Will you talk about Kiki Smith, what she did for you today?
Got us going when we got in foul trouble. Had some kind of funky lineups that we don't really work on in practice a lot. She's explosive. When I felt like they were using their best on-ball defender on Izzy, we felt like we could just move Izzy to the corner and let Kiki go. She's played a lot of different positions. She's a confident player. She's done it in practice repeatedly, and we're still just scratching the surface. Once she makes all the adjustments to college life and Division I life, this is a kid that's real special. We knew it when we saw her last year. Very fortunate to be able to get her the way that we did, and I don't know how we survived the foul trouble there if she really doesn't get us going.
Yeah. Fairfield isn't your typical season opener. Just how was it to get this, this type of game and get the team in the win column after Monday?
Yeah, I thought, like always, I'm going to have to go back and look at it. Y'all know it probably wasn't as good as I feel like it could have been. But what I'm proud about is the improvements that we made between the two games. Like, it was a hard game. We knew it was going to be hard, and we dealt with it, and we didn't have pulling apart at the seams. We had some struggles, and we had to watch film, and it was hard to watch film of ourselves do things, but they took it and they improved upon it. And we improved upon a lot of things. We need to continue to improve like that after a win. We don't need it to be a loss. And I'm going to be really judging this team real hard for the first 6 or 7 weeks on how much we improve between games. So we'll go home, get a little earlier start on it with the 10:30 tip, but I feel like I'm going to probably be a little bit more pleased than we were the other night.
And not just with Kiki, but you had 4 players hit double figures in scoring. Just speak on the versatility of your offense. Just have that.
Yeah, and Jenna done their double. That's back to back. We've been a while since we have back to back double kids. So, we're still not there. 16 turnovers is too high for a team that really wasn't trying to take it from us. That's still some playbook issues. A lot of that's my fault for probably having too much in too early. But as we start to strip away, which is what we kind of did in the second half, we just went to one action and played out of it. I think the kids were more comfortable. So we'll coach better and get more comfortable with the playbook. I think we will make more shots as a result. But I love the balance of 26 free throws, 24 threes. That makes that 33 of 2 attempts. We threw it inside to the post quite a bit tonight. And I thought there was good balance. But I don't like the turnovers because I didn't feel like some of those were the aggressive types. They were more of the I don't know what to do next types, so we got to clean that up.
You mentioned obviously the turnovers there. I think there was a period early in the second quarter that you guys had 6 and A&M or East Texas A&M.
Sorry, we're off ball.
Yeah. Went on an 8-0 run to cut it to single digits. Just what did you see in that period of the game, and how did you kind of adjust from that?
That was when we had that foul trouble, and it was like we look up, and I'm looking at my play card, and we haven't probably run any of those actions with that particular lineup that was on the floor. So what could we do to get through it? I think that did lead to some hesitancy and probably some turnovers. But I learned with that group, just kind of let them play a little bit. Give them one thing, execute out of that, and they'll be better than trying to run a bunch of actions. So, but I felt like we survived the foul trouble when Vera got her third just on a hustle play. A very valuable teaching moment for her. Her first foul was 93 feet away from the rim. And we talk about – we chart that distance of fouls from our rim. Like, we've got to get back and defend from our opponent's rim. So it's a really good example for her that foul was what meant she had 3 instead of just 2. So lots and lots of teaching moments. But yeah, that little stretch, and I think Commerce got confident and they had a little swagger about them. So, I think we took a timeout in that little spot there. We were tired as well, I think. And I'm just now starting to learn what this team can handle in 2 days of prep and what they can handle in the day before a game. We'll get all that lined out here in the next couple of weeks.
And then just with Kiki, how have you seen her kind of adjust to Division I life? And obviously it comes to
the basketball's she's getting there. I mean, it's a big jump. It's a really, really big jump for anybody. She's handled it with a lot of maturity and poise. She's very coachable, but you have to be careful because whatever you tell her, she's going to do. So we have to be really smart and telling her to do the right things. And I think as her basketball continues to be like this, like I said, she shot herself out of a perfect night. She heat checked herself at the Fuller just gave me this at the 6-minute marker. She was headed toward a perfect night. Has a little bit of a heat check, but I think as her confidence grows, you're going to see the kid that we all had a chance to see for, at the JUCO level last year.
Coach, you've harped a lot this offseason about defense. What do you think of your defense, say, only allowing, 30% for the Lions to shoot tonight?
Yeah, well, Coach Todd's still going to be mad just because there were too many breakdowns. I think it's getting there, but he's going to, every possession, there's going to be something that we could probably pick out and still improve upon. I think the number of shots, we can't survive giving up 89 shots. Like, I know they played fast, but y'all, when we play ORU, that's going to be a half-time score. Like, they play uber fast. So I think that's going to be an area we'll focus on is, how can we keep from having to defend so many field goal opportunities. But I think he will be a little bit more pleased after he watches the film than he was in live time. I thought there were some moments where our effort was really, really good. They are very, very coachable. They are very locked in on what we're trying to do defensively. They take it to heart when they come out and they've made a mistake. A lot of times we're not even having to point them out. They're making them to themselves. And this group right now, especially that rotation that we've been playing, and I thought Carly Johnson came in and gave us some really valuable minutes too when we got just her experience and her scrap, 6 rebounds in 14 minutes when we were having a little bit of problem in that area. So I think it was still good. He may have a different opinion when I talk to him after lunch.
And also kind of, you talked about it already. Jenna had a double-double and Izzy had 18, 19 points. What does it mean for 2 kids from Arkansas to have that performance in front of, 10,000 other kids who are growing up just like them?
Yeah, we talk a lot about our international flavor, and we forget that it's about 50. It's half and half, and those 2 kids, they wanted to be Razorbacks, and that's still, like this crowd, that's still the good part about college athletics. We read about too many of the negative stories. If that transfer portal there wasn't there, Izzy Higginbottom wouldn't get to be able to live out her dream as her senior year, and Jenna might not have, been able to play this close to home and have so many fans. So I'm proud it's those 2 guys that are, and they've been so welcoming. Not only are they 2 of our leaders, if you'll notice, they go out as we don't really name captains, but they do go out with the officials before the game, welcoming all these kids, to our town, to our university. They've been over the top with their families. So it's a cool thing to see.
You've had, I guess, 30-something practices,
Yeah.
The exhibition games, the game at Fairfield. How important is it with a young team and really a team, a lot of it's away from home, to have some success and to have some good feeling going into a weekend, to help them out for the next week?
Immeasurable. And not just them. Go ahead and throw coaches and staff in there too. We haven't had a win in a while. We've been living for a bunch of calendar days, not having had a win. And we can celebrate a recruiting victory or, retaining somebody, but I don't think I could put a measure on it really, Dudley. It just feels, I said to Phil on the radio, the last couple of years when we win, it feels like it's a relief. Like, it's just a relief that you won. That means you're not going to have this XYZ, whatever to deal with. And I'm not saying that the win's going to mask all that, but it does help. It just makes your body feel different. It makes practice going to be a little sharper tomorrow morning at 10:30 when we bounce back and we start getting ready for Little Rock. I'm sure their lunch will taste better. but I'll just speak personally. I'm not going to speak for anybody else. I feel better, just better. And I think it focuses me. It keeps me motivated. But this group's been doing that for me since we got them on campus. I have been as energized as I've been in a long time when it comes to what I have to do on a daily basis as a coach. And that's all because of the group of kids we have in there and how they approach it.
Some different dynamics to the Little Rock game this year. You're going down there,
Yeah.
Just
Weed
talk
hour.
about that a little bit.
Weed hour instead of Foley too. It's going to be so, I'm close with all those guys. I've been watching their, Steve's transition to the being a head coach. I still think our games with our in-state schools are great. They're hard for us. It will not be an easy game. He will have their team ready to play. I'm sure they will have, they're coming off a big win. I don't know if they play again between now and then. I'll have to look. I'm sure they'll be jacked up. They'll have a great home crowd. We've had a hard time playing in the Stevens building. We've played a lot better when we've played the game in Little Rock that wasn't in Stevens. So, I hope our kids, again, maybe their naivety will help a little bit. They won't have some of the memories of how hard it was to play in that facility. But it'll sure be a lot easier to get them up coming off a win. But they're hard to play against still. Steve's he's obviously taken what he's, seen with Coach Foley for years and put his own stamp on things, but it's still that, man, it's a grind on offense and on defense. They're so hard to score on, and they're so hard to keep from scoring. They make you work. So our recovery is going to be important. I'm glad we play early, and I'm glad we play late.
They scored a lot of points the other day.
Yeah.
So they're playing faster with him.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and I think I don't know for sure. It was a non-Division I opponent that might have had, and non-NCAA opponent that might have had something to do with it, Grant. But I think when Steve went to be the high school coach and was a head coach, they played a little faster. So I don't know how much of that will translate. I'm sure it's very dependent, but they shot it a bunch. Like you looked at, they were flying it up. I watched about half of that flipping it between. So I'm anxious to get into film, but we're going to anticipate they will. They've got some depth. I think they'll challenge in that area, but they did look like they were playing a lot faster to me. But it could have been more of the opponent than the style. I'm not positive.
They kind of kept it within 10 to 15 points there for a while, and in the start of the fourth quarter, Izzy she kind of exploded real quick. How big was that for her and for the team to get that start to the fourth quarter and kind of put it away then?
Yeah, I think it ballooned up. We got up 26 or so there with a little bit to play. It allowed us to rest a couple of kids, get a couple of kids out. Vera didn't end up fouling out, which was good. We got some kids who have been practicing real hard, multiple minutes, and more film, more game experience. And just to pull away, that's a confidence thing. And we knew they would not go away. I've known Coach King for a long time as a player and as a coach, and you knew that there was not going to be any stop in them. So I was proud that we got some lineups in there that we needed to get some film on, some things they can improve on, because we're going to need some depth as the year goes along and things happen. But I thought it was vital to our ability to be able to recover quick for the next, not only just, you look at them in kind of pods, this next little pod of games that we have heading out to UCLA at the end of that, those games in a row, important for us to get some other kids some minutes.
Just looking at, I guess, the box score, you gave up 15 offensive rebounds. Is that something that's a concern right now, or how
yes.
do you kind of like
100%
improve on that?
Yeah, 100%. You got to clean that up. They did take a lot of shots. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things about stats. If you make them miss a lot of shots, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. I'll need to see what the percentages were, like what was our defensive rebounding percentage. But the number does jump out at you. But then you see the 80 field goal attempts too, and that's a little higher. But we need to see if they're effort things or bad luck things or technique things. That's really the only three things an offensive rebound can be. Did you do something technically wrong? Did you just get a bad break? When we chart effort, Coach Bradford, he charts every possession. And I don't look down here and go, oh, Jenna had 10 defensive rebounds. Awesome. Give her a gold star and pat on the back and an extra thing of fruit or whatever. It might not have been as good a percentage as Vera, who only had 7 because of the number of times. So we look at that. Jenna's effort was good. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying using those two as an example. Was it technical? Was it athleticism? Was it scheme? But rebounding is going to be something that's going to be vital for this team. We're probably not going to out rebound folks, but we got to keep it within a margin. And that number, regardless of the 80 attempts, is too many. All right. Thank y'all.